What's up, y'all? In this video, I'm going to talk about tips and tricks for living in Puerto Rico. Let's go. For context, Reyka and I were in Puerto Rico from August 24th to September 22nd, and we spent most of that time in San Juan, but we did make multiple day and weekend long trips to Wyatt, Culebra, and El Yunque rainforest. If I don't touch on something you're curious about and want to know, just leave a comment below and we'll try to help you out. First off is COVID. Basically, most places are open to you if you wear a mask, except if you want to dine in at restaurants, you have to show proof of vaccination and an ID. We just had pictures of our vaccine cards and it worked fine. The next thing I want to touch on is water safety. In San Juan specifically, it's said to be very safe according to tapsafe.org, TripAdvisor, a bunch of places. However, I did find some complaints that there isn't enough data to truly know that. So if you have a soft stomach, I recommend sticking to bottled water, especially at the beginning of your trip, and just slowly working in tap water and seeing how you react. Reyka and I drank tap water the entire time in San Juan and we're totally fine. In general, for water, I feel like the best advice we can give is to just ask around, because your Airbnb managers, your hotel staff, even like your community, if you're just in a house in Puerto Rico, they're around the water all the time, so they're gonna be aware if it's safe or not, so I trust them. The next is food. If you're cooking a lot, we did a bunch of exploration around this, trying to find the cheapest groceries, and we actually learned about Walmart's cheap prices after asking some locals, and it was hands down true. Like, the prices there are super cheap. Next thing I want to talk about is public transport, and it's so useful. I highly recommend you use it. And it's not even used that much. Like, I was on this train one day coming back home, and I struck up conversation with this lady, and she was complaining because Puerto Rico and San Juan specifically invested a ton of money in this beautiful metro system, but like nobody uses it. Especially after visiting Paris and Lisbon, where the metro systems are like so full a lot of the time. It's kind of sad thinking back to San Juan, where the trains are almost always empty, but they're running constantly and they go all over. And it's also super good for the environment. Highly recommend using public transit in San Juan. So the question is, how do you use it? First off, you will make mistakes. Like, it is not a super easy to use system. Oh, this is our train. Oh no, that was the one. That was going to Bayamon. But with a few strategies, you can use it and use it often and well. To figure out which routes are active, I recommend just going on Google Maps, finding the closest train station and going there and talking with the attendant. They'll know which ones are running, and hopefully what happened for Reyka and I is the guy just showed us maps, we took pictures, and then whenever we wanted to go anywhere around San Juan, we just referenced those pictures. It honestly worked really well. It saved us a ton of money because we didn't have to use Uber the entire time. That being said, the trains are super nice. The buses are pretty nice, but they're a little bit less consistent. One night, Reyka and I were trying to get home from Walmart, actually, and the bus just didn't come, so we had to walk, and it was kind of a sketchy neighborhood. It was just a bad experience.
We made it to the station. It was way longer of a walk and way less lit than the man said, so not fun.
So especially with the buses, it's a huge system of trial and error, just figuring out which routes near you or where you want to go are still running and how often. But then again, it's still worth it. Like, we used buses quite often in San Juan, and we recommend it to you too. So how much does it cost? A one-way ticket on the train costs $1.50. On the bus, it's 50 cents. Reyka and I, because we were there for around a month, like 4 weeks, we bought the 30-day unlimited pass, which was $50 per person. Totally worth it, because we could just go wherever we wanted, whenever we wanted, without having to think about the cost involved, because we'd already put down this investment. We were honestly excited to go places after we invested in it, because we wanted to get the most out of our passes. The last category is friends. Our trip to Puerto Rico was made like 20 million times better because we made friends on the island. Coming home one night, I struck up conversation with this guy. His name was Brian, and we ended up going on a bunch of adventures together to Vieques and around San Juan, and we're still in contact today. Through playing pickup basketball in the local neighborhood, I made a bunch of friends where I could play basketball all the time. And we went to El Yunque together with a few of them. And after all the traveling, Reyka and I have realized that making friends is one of the things that makes traveling as good as it is, because you're meeting people, you're making friends, you're becoming connected, but they're also from different cultures and backgrounds than yourself. It's one of the most important reasons and the best things about traveling. Anyways, that's my spiel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe if you want to follow Reyka and I as we try to go to 50 countries. Peace out, y'all.